The hall was silent. Thousands of alien eyes watched the human standing alone at the center of the great chamber. He was not tall, he was not loud. His clothes were torn and old, marked by travel and time. Metal cuffs rested on his wrists, glowing faintly. To most of the galaxy, he looked weak. Just another broken survivor from a forgotten species. Humans were not feared anymore. They were remembered as a mistake of history, a race that rose too fast and vanished even faster. Most believed they destroyed themselves. Others said the galaxy quietly erased them. No one truly knew, and no one cared. Except now, the human did not raise his head. He stood still, breathing slow, eyes calm. He had learned long ago that fear only fed those who watched. Above him, the galactic court waited. Massive figures sat on floating thrones. Scales, armor, glowing skin, shifting shadows, rulers of empires that controlled stars and worlds. They whispered to each other, judging him before he spoke. "Why is a human here?" One voice hissed. "A relic," another said. "A reminder of nothing." Then the doors opened. The sound was soft, but the effect was instant. Every voice stopped. Every ruler stood. A presence filled the hall, heavy and cold. Power moved through the air like a storm. The alien queen entered, her steps slow and measured. Her crown floated above her head, shaped from dark crystal and light. Her eyes were ancient, filled with memories older than most civilizations. She ruled not by fear alone, but by truth, war, and survival. The queen looked at the council once, then her gaze fell on the human. Something in her expression changed. She descended from her platform and walked toward him. Each step echoed. Guards tightened their grip on their weapons. No one understood why she came so close to a prisoner. She stopped an arm's length away. The human felt it. The weight. The past pressing against the present. He did not move. The queen's eyes scanned him slowly. His face, his posture. Then her gaze fell to his neck, where torn fabric revealed a long, faded scar. It was old, deep, not made by any modern weapon. Her hand lifted. Gasps echoed through the chamber. No ruler touched prisoners. Her fingers hovered, then gently rested on the scar. The world stopped. Her breath caught. Her eyes widened just slightly. Her hand trembled, almost invisible but real. Memories crashed into her mind fire. Screaming stars, human ships burning while still charging forward. Her voice came out as a whisper. "So, it was you." The word sent confusion through the hall. The human finally raised his eyes. They met hers. In that moment, the queen saw not a prisoner, not a survivor, but something else. Someone she had not expected to see again. Someone who should not exist. She pulled her hand back as if burned. The council erupted in questions. "What is this?" "Your Majesty, do you know him?" The queen turned slowly, her face cold once more, but something had changed. Fear hid behind her control. "Seal the chamber," she said. The door slammed shut. "No one leaves," she added. Silence returned, thicker than before. The human spoke for the first time. His voice was calm, tired, but strong. "You remember now?" The queen stared at him. "I was hoping I was wrong." She turned away, walking back toward her throne, her thoughts racing. The galaxy believed humans were gone, that their wars ended in failure. But this man stood here alive. And that scar meant only one thing: the last stand. The war that almost ended everything. She sat down slowly. "This trial is postponed," she announced. "The human is not to be harmed." The council reacted in shock. A human protected? One ruler protested. The queen's eyes flashed. "You will obey." Guards stepped back. The human remained standing, silent again. He knew this moment would come one day. He just did not expect it to begin like this. The queen looked at him once more. After all these years, the past had returned, and the galaxy was not ready for the truth. The chamber remained sealed long after the echoes of the queen's command faded. No one spoke. Even the most powerful rulers avoided looking at the human directly, as if his presence alone had changed the rules of the galaxy. Guards finally moved him away from the center of the hall. They did not drag him. They did not strike him. They walked carefully, unsure of what he truly was. The cuffs on his wrists dimmed. no longer glowing as brightly as before. That alone caused whispers. Humans were never treated with caution. He was taken through long silver corridors into a secure chamber deep beneath the court. The room was simple, smooth walls, soft light. No weapons pointed at him, just silence. The human sat on the edge of the platform bed, hands resting on his knees. He did not test the door. He did not rush his thoughts. Waiting had once saved entire worlds. It would save him again. Far above, the alien queen stood alone in her private chamber. Crown hovered behind her, forgotten. Her hands trembled slightly as she stared at a holographic projection of old star maps erased from public records. Human roots, human borders, human sacrifice zones. They were supposed to be gone, she whispered. Her mind returned to the scar. She had seen that wound before, long ago. On a battlefield no one survived. A place where stars burned and fleets vanished. The last human stand. She remembered the human ships, smaller, outnumbered, still advancing. They did not retreat. They did not ask for mercy. They held the line while others escaped. She remembered one human in particular. Silent, calm, standing in fire. The same eyes. The queen closed her eyes. A knock interrupted her thoughts. Psst. Enter, she said. A senior counselor stepped in, his voice tense. Your Majesty, the council demands answers. Why protect a human? Why delay judgment? She turned slowly. Because, she said, that humans should not exist. The counselor hesitated. Then he is a threat. No, the queen replied. He is a reminder. She dismissed him with a gesture. The queen walked toward the chamber where the human was held. Guards opened the door and stepped away. She entered alone. The human looked up. You look older, he said softly. Her eyes narrowed. And you look the same. Silence stretched between them. They think you are weak, she said. A lost survivor. They always do, he replied. She circled him slowly, studying him again, as a ruler, but as someone facing the past. Why reveal yourself now? She asked. You could have stayed hidden. I did, he said. For a long time, then why come here? He looked at the floor for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice carried weight. Because the galaxy is repeating old mistakes? The queen stopped walking. You remember the war? He continued. But you forgot the reason it started. Her expression hardened. Humans started it. He shook his head slightly. Humans ended it. She stared at him, searching for lies. She found none. You died, she said quietly. Your kind vanished. We stepped back, he replied. There is a difference. Her breath caught. You chose to disappear? We chose silence, he said. So others could grow without fear of us. The queen turned away. The truth pressed against her thoughts. Ancient records spoke of humans not as conquerors, but as protectors who became too powerful to ignore. Fear had rewritten history. What is your name? She asked. He hesitated. Names have power. I already touched your scar, she said. Hey, that power is gone. He met her gaze. Then call me what I was. She whispered the word she had not spoken in centuries. Guardian. The room felt smaller. If the council learns this, she said, they will panic. They already should, he replied calmly. She faced him again. Are there others? A long pause. Yes, her heart sank. Not many, he added. But enough. The queen felt fear not for herself, but for the galaxy. If humans returned, everything would change. What do you want? She asked. The human stood. To remind the galaxy, he said, what happens when it forgets who protected it? Outside the chamber, unseen by both of them, ancient systems awakened. Signals long dormant began to move through space. And somewhere far beyond known stars, something heard the call. The queen did not sleep that cycle. She stood at the wide window of her private chamber, staring into the slow movement of stars. The galaxy outside looked calm, peaceful, but she knew better. Calm had existed once before, right before everything burned. Behind her, the human sat quietly at a table. No guards, no restraints. That alone would have shaken the council if they knew. You should be afraid, the queen said without turning. It's that ... after what you just told me. The human folded his hands. Fear makes people act fast. Memory makes them act right. She turned to face him. You speak as if you are still responsible. I am, he replied. We never stop being. The queen walked closer. He said, others still live? Where are they? Hidden, he answered. Watching, her eyes narrowed. Preparing. He shook his head. Waiting for what? For the galaxy to choose. She let out a slow breath. That choice ended badly last time. Yes, he said. That is why we stepped away. The queen's thoughts returned to the war, the final days, when human fleets stood between destruction and survival. She remembered begging them to retreat. They never did. Why you? She asked. Why were you left behind? The human looked down at the scar again. His fingers brushed it lightly. Not in pain, but remembrance. Someone had to stay, he said. Someone had to make sure the end stayed an end. You were a soldier, she said. It was a line, he replied. Silence filled the room. The queen activated a hidden panel, projecting ancient footage into the air. Blurred images of human ships, energy shields failing, entire suns collapsing into fire. This battle, she said, pointing. No records say anyone survived. I did, he said simply. He looked at the image. 'Cause humans do not run when others are still behind them. Her throat tightened. That scar. It was from the core blast, yes. That should have killed you. It did, he replied. Her eyes widened. Explain. The body stopped, he said calmly. The duty did not. She stared at him, understanding only part of what he meant, and that frightened her more. Sharp tone echoed through the chamber, an alert. The queen turned to the console. Her expression changed instantly. What is it? She demanded. A voice from the system replied, tense and fast. Your Majesty, unknown signals detected across multiple sectors? Ancient codes? Galactic origin? The human stood? They woke early, he said. The queen faced him sharply. You said they were waiting. They were, he replied. But waiting ends when fear spreads. She clenched her fists. The council must not know yet. They will, he said. Fear travels faster than truth. As if summoned by his words, the doors burst open. Several council members entered, faces pale, voices raised. Your Majesty, one shouted. Our systems are lighting up. Old human frequencies. This is impossible, Queen turned. Calm on the surface, storm beneath. Leave us, she ordered. They demand answers, another said. About him. She raised her hand. The room fell silent. This being, she said slowly, is under my protection. A wave of shock passed through them. A human? One hissed. Your Majesty, history lies, she snapped. Because survivors are dangerous to those who write it? She turned to the human. Is this your doing? He met her gaze. No, then whose? Someone afraid, he said, or someone greedy. The queen understood immediately. Other empires. If even a rumor of human return spread, ancient enemies would strike first. Move him, she said. Ow. The guards hesitated. Obey, she commanded. As they escorted the human through hidden corridors, alarms began to echo throughout the station. Red lights flashed. The calm order of the Galactic court shattered. Ships moved. Weapons charged. The queen followed, her mind racing. You said humans chose silence, she said as they walked. Does that choice still stand? He stopped and looked at her. Silence was mercy, he said. What comes next depends on how the galaxy treats what it forgot. A distant explosion shook the station. The queen's eyes widened. This is only the beginning, she whispered. The human turned toward the stars beyond the walls. No, he said quietly. This is the reminder. Far away, ancient signals continued to rise, answering a call that had not been spoken aloud in centuries. The galaxy began to remember why humans were never meant to be erased. The station shook again, harder this time. Metal screamed somewhere deep inside the structure. Emergency lights flooded the corridors in red. The calm power of the Galactic court was gone. In its place was confusion, fear, and old instincts waking up. The human walked beside the alien queen as guards rushed ahead of them. He moved calmly as if explosions were nothing new. For him, chaos was familiar. It had followed him for most of his life. They are testing the borders, he said. The queen looked at him sharply. Who? Those who remember us, he replied. And those who fear us. Another explosion echoed. Closer now. Station tilted slightly, then corrected itself. Report, the Queen demanded. A commander appeared on a floating display. Unknown ships entered restricted space. They are not attacking directly. They're scanning. The Queen's jaw tightened. Scanning for what? For him, the commander said, eyes flicking toward the human. The Queen ended the transmission and turned to him. You said you did not call them. I didn't, he answered. But the past leaves shadows. Some learned how to follow them. They reached a secure chamber near the core of the station. Massive doors sealed behind them. The room was old, built before many modern empires existed. Symbols carved into the walls told stories of alliances long forgotten. Human alliances. The Queen activated the chamber. Holographic map of the galaxy appeared. Red markers began to light up across distant systems. Too many, she whispered. They are mobilizing, they always do, the human said. Fear makes people hurry. She faced him, anger breaking through her control. Then why return at all? Why risk this? He looked at the map, then at her. Because the galaxy is close to breaking the same law again. What law? The law of survival through strength alone, he said. It never lasts, the Queen remembered. Empires rising, empires falling. Endless war justified as progress. You believe humans can stop it, she said. No, he replied. I believe humans can remind them. She studied him carefully. You speak like a leader. I am not, he said. I was something smaller than what were you? He stepped closer to the wall and placed his hand on one of the ancient carvings. The symbol glowed faintly at his touch. I was a promise, he said. The Queen felt something shift in the room. Systems that had been silent for centuries began to wake. Old power lines hummed. The station itself seemed to recognize him. What is this place? She asked quietly. A vault, he answered. Built when humans still walked openly among the stars. For weapons? She asked. For choices, he replied. The hologram changed. New images appeared, records sealed beyond normal authority. The Queen watched in shock as scenes unfolded. Human fleets standing between civilian worlds and destruction. Humans refusing to rule conquered systems. Humans leaving resources behind and moving on. You could have owned the galaxy, she whispered. We didn't want ownership, he said. We wanted balance. Her voice trembled. When the galaxy turned on you. We stayed, he replied, till everyone else escaped. She finally understood the scar. It's not a wound of defeat, but of decision. Sudden alert flashed. Enemy ships charging weapons, the system announced. The Queen turned back to the map. They're going to strike this station. They won't, the human said. She stared at him. How can you be sure? Because they are afraid to be the ones who started, he replied. They want proof first. Proof of what? That humans are truly gone, he said. Or truly back. The Queen felt the weight of command press on her. If they attack, then silence ends, he finished. She took a long breath. Then if I stand with you. He met her eyes. Then the galaxy will listen. Another explosion rocked the station. Shields flared. The Queen straightened. Her fear hardened into resolve. Open all channels, she ordered. Broadcast to every fleet. The system hesitated. Authorization level. I authorize, she said firmly. The human watched as her image appeared across the stars. This is the Queen, she began. You stand on the edge of an old mistake. She paused, then added words no ruler had spoken in centuries. Humanity is not gone. In the silence that followed, something deep in space responded. Not with weapons, but with a signal. Clear, ancient, human. And across the galaxy, rulers realized they were no longer alone with their fear. The signal spread faster than fear. Across the galaxy, ships paused mid-movement. Weapons that were charging slowed, then stopped. Commanders stared at their screens, reading the same impossible data again and again. Human origin. Pre-war encryption, active. On the station, the alien Queen stood still after the broadcast. Her words had gone out to every major fleet. There was no taking them back now. The human watched the map in silence. More markers appeared, but not all were hostile. Some turned yellow, some went dark. They are listening, the Queen said quietly. They always do, the human replied. When they remember, A new alert sounded. This one was different. Calmer. Steady. Incoming transmission, the system announced. Source: unknown. Clearance exceeds current authority. The Queen looked at the human. Is it one of yours? He nodded once.
Yes.
Put it through, she ordered. The hologram shifted. A single human figure appeared, standing in shadow. The image was old style, raw and unpolished. The face was worn, eyes sharp. Guardian, the figure said. The human straightened slightly. You woke early. We felt the scar, the figure replied. The signal. The Queen felt a chill. How many? She asked. The figure turned his gaze to her. Enough. The transmission ended. Silence filled the chamber. The Queen exhaled slowly. It was not a threat. No, the human said. That was a warning. Outside the station, fleets repositioned. Some backed away. Others formed lines, unsure whether to advance or flee. A commander's voice broke in. Your Majesty, multiple empires request negotiation. They want assurance. Assurance of what? She asked. That humans will not take control, the commander replied. The human let out a soft breath. They still think in terms of rulers and subjects. The Queen looked at him and spoke. Before someone makes a mistake, he stepped forward. Open the channel again, he said. The Queen nodded. The human's image spread across the galaxy, simple, unarmored, standing beside the most powerful ruler alive. Too many? That alone was shocking. I will be brief, he said, his voice calm and clear. Humans did not return to rule you. Fleets listened. We return because the galaxy is close to burning itself again, he continued. We stepped away once to give you a chance. Some commanders shifted uncomfortably. You used that chance, he said. Some well, some poorly. A pause. We are not here to punish, he said, but we will not allow another extinction. Murmur spread. Any empire that fires first, he added, will face something it cannot outgrow. The message was simple, not loud, not cruel, and far more frightening than a threat. The channel closed. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then fleets began to withdraw. One by one, red markers turned yellow. Yellow turned green. The Queen felt tension drain from her shoulders. You stopped a war. The human shook his head. I delayed one. She studied him. What happens next? Truth, he replied. And choice. Alarms sounded again, but this time they were not attacks. Multiple arrivals detected, the system announced. Human signatures, non-hostile. The Queen's eyes widened. They are coming here? Yes, he said. To end the lie. Moments later, the chamber doors opened. Not guards, humans. Men and women in simple armor, carrying no raised weapons. Their movements were calm, controlled. Survivors, watchers, guardians. The Queen stood tall as they entered. You hide well, she said. We learn from you, one of them replied. They looked at the human with quiet respect. It's time, one said. He nodded. The Queen felt something she had not felt in centuries. Relief. The human turned to her. The galaxy will ask what we want, and what do you? He looked out at the stars. Balance, he said. Memory. Outside the station, news spread faster than light. Humans had returned, not as kings, not as conquerors, but as something far more dangerous. Witnesses. And every empire now understood one simple truth. The galaxy had been living on borrowed time, and the owners had come back to collect the future. The station was quiet again. It's not the quiet of fear or confusion, but the quiet that comes after a storm changes direction. Outside the viewing halls, fleets held position at a safe distance. No weapons charged, no threats spoken. The galaxy was watching, waiting for the next word. The alien queen stood beside the human at the wide window. Stars drifted slowly, calm and distant. They will demand a name, she said. A title, something to understand. They already have one, the human replied. They just forgot it. Behind them, the other humans waited. Not in formation, not in ranks. They stood as individuals, different ages, different paths, but united by the same quiet purpose. A message request appeared on the central console. Priority level, absolute. The Queen nodded. Open all channels. Her image spread across the stars again. This time the humans stepped forward with her. Rulers, commanders, and watchers filled the screens. No shouting, no threats. Only attention. The human spoke. Long ago, he said, the galaxy faced an ending it could not survive alone. Old records surfaced in many minds, half-remembered legends, battles erased from official history. Humans stood in that ending, he continued. Not because we were strongest, but because someone had to. He paused, letting the words settle. We did not vanish, he said. We stepped aside. Murmurs rippled through the fleets. We became guardians of distance, he said. Watchers of balance. A ruler spoke up. And why return now? The human looked straight ahead. Because balance was broken again. Silence followed. The queen stepped forward. This galaxy was built on a lie, she said. That power alone creates peace. Her voice carried weight. Humans proved otherwise. They left not to conquer, but to protect freedom from themselves. The human nodded. Power without memory destroys, he said. Memory without mercy freezes. Balance needs both. A commander asked the question everyone feared. What happens if we refuse? The human answered calmly. Then we step back again. Confusion spread. You won't fight? Another demanded. We will, he said, only if forced. The meaning was clear. The queen felt it in the stillness. This was not an offer made from weakness. It was a boundary drawn by experience. New signal appeared, ancient, steady, human. It spread outward, touching systems far beyond the station. Old defenses powered down on distant worlds, ancient failsafes unlocked, hidden shelters opened. The galaxy was changing quietly, permanently. The queen turned to the human. They will fear you. They already do, he said. Fear is honest, and trust, she asked. That must be earned, he replied. The channel closed. The stars remained. The other humans began to depart, returning to their ships. No speeches, no celebration. Work awaited them, quiet, patient work. The queen watched them go. What will you do? She asked the human. I will leave, he said. My part here is done. Her eyes narrowed. You could stay. Rule beside me. He smiled faintly. That is exactly why I won't. She understood. At the edge of the station, a small human ship waited. Simple, unmarked. The queen walked with him to the docking bay. Guards and officials watched in silence, unsure whether they were witnessing the end of an Ajor, the start of one. At the entrance, he stopped. The scar, she said softly. It never healed. It did, he replied, just not the way you expected. She bowed her head not as a ruler, but as someone who remembered. Thank you, she said. He nodded once and entered the ship. As it departed, the queen felt something rare. Hope. Across the galaxy, messages spread. Not orders, not threats, but questions. Empires paused, plans changed, old hatreds cooled. The human signal faded into silence again. But this time, the silence meant something different. It was not absence. It was watchfulness. And far from the bright halls of power, the guardian ship slipped into the dark, scar hidden beneath calm skin, carrying a simple truth the galaxy would never forget again. Humanity never disappeared. It chose restraint. And that choice saved everyone. The human ship vanished into deep space, its signal fading until only silence remained. For many, that silence felt like peace. For others, it felt like opportunity. Across the galaxy, rulers returned to their private chambers. Councils dismissed their guards. Secure channels opened. Words that were never spoken aloud in public finally found voice in shadow. Humans stepped back once, one ruler said. They will do it again. They rely on restraint, another replied. Restraint can be tested. In hidden sectors, fleets did not fully withdraw. They repositioned. Weapons were not powered down, only masked. Old fear slowly turned into new confidence. On the Galactic court station, the alien queen stood alone. The echoes of the Guardian's departure still lingered in her thoughts. She wanted to believe the galaxy had learned something, but experience told her otherwise. A quiet alert appeared on her console, not an attack. not a broadcast. A report. Her expression darkened as she read it. A remote human outpost, long abandoned, according to records, had gone silent. No distress call. No debris field. Just absence. That was fast, she whispered. She summoned her inner council. Faces appeared one by one, carefully calm, carefully neutral. You assured us humans would not interfere, one counselor said. They won't, the Queen replied, less forced. Another leaned forward. Then perhaps it is time to test that boundary. Her eyes flashed. Be careful. Careful is why we survived humans the first time, the counselor answered. But fear kept us small. The Queen stood. Fear kept you alive. Silence followed. Meanwhile, far beyond the reach of known trade routes, a human ship drifted quietly. Inside, the Guardian sat alone, eyes closed, listening not to instruments, but to something deeper. He felt it. A wrongness. The scar on his neck burned faintly, a sensation he had not felt in decades. He opened his eyes. Someone crossed the line, he said to the empty ship. A soft tone answered him. Internal system, older than most stars. Confirmed, it replied. Contact lost. Probability of hostile action. High. The Guardian leaned back, exhaling slowly. So soon, he murmured. He activated a narrowband signal. Not a broadcast, not a warning, a question. The answer came almost instantly. Another human ship appeared on his display, then another, then more shadows slipping out of dark space. They did not form a fleet. They formed a presence. They didn't listen, one voice said. No, the Guardian replied. They pretended to. What now? Another asked. The Guardian looked at the stars ahead. Now, he said, we remind them why restraint was a gift. Back at the Galactic court, alarms finally sounded, real ones this time. Multiple unauthorized strikes detected, a commander reported. Several neutral worlds hit, casualties unknown. The Queen's heart sank. Who attacked? She demanded. The answer took too long. Joint fleets, the commander said. Independent alliance. No official claim. The Queen closed her eyes. They had chosen. Moments later, a new signal entered the system. Human. Clear. Unhidden. The Guardian's image appeared before her. They broke the silence, he said calmly. I tried to stop them, the Queen replied. I know, he said. This is not on you. Her voice trembled. What will you do? The Guardian did not answer immediately. When humans left, he said, we hoped fear would fade. It didn't, the Queen said. No, he agreed. It only waited. He leaned closer to the display. We will not conquer, he said. We will not rule. Then what? She asked. We will stand where we stood before, he replied. Between. The channel ended. Across the galaxy, ancient human systems woke fully for the first time in centuries. Not weapons of destruction, but barriers, shields, and lines drawn in space itself. Fleets that pushed forward found their paths blocked. Shots fired into empty space vanished without impact. The message was clear. Advance further, and restraint would end. On one distant world, a child looked up at the sky as strange lights faded away. The ground stopped shaking. The air grew still. For the first time, the galaxy felt watched again, not by tyrants, not by gods, but by something far more unsettling. Guardians who had already proven they were willing to disappear for peace, and were now willing to return for the same reason. The age of forgetting was over, and this time, humanity was not stepping away.